Hey everyone, Bob here, KD4BMG HOA Ham. My good friends over at Radioddity sent me this box. Let's go ahead and open it up and see what's inside.
So I said, let's get on with it. Where are you located? Delta, Oscar, Uniform, Golf.
It's the DB40-D from Radioddity. It's the 40 watt version of the GD88. Of course, the GD88 is a handheld unit, and here now we have a shack desktop version, or a unit that you can put in your vehicle and put out 40 watts. Of course, we'll put that to the test and see if it really does. If you're familiar with a GD88, you're going to be easily able to convert over to this because the menu system, the icons, are nearly identical. So the features and options, it's going to be something very familiar to you. There isn't a lot of competition out there in DMR mobile units, and this is Radioddity's entry. We're going to give it a go and see if it matches up to the other few units that are out there, and if this is a good option for you. Let's head on over to their website to look at the very specific specs that are listed for us. Let's get the obvious out of the way so we can move on to the more unique features of this radio. Of course, it has all the standard features you're going to expect out of any mobile 2-meter, 70-centimeter radio. It's analog and DMR. It comes with room for 300,000 contacts, expandable to 500,000 contacts via software. It has GPS and APRS, and honestly, I don't use APRS, so I'm not going to pretend to explain to you. I understand how it operates. You should read the features on the website so you get a full understanding of what it's capable of. Let's talk about the unique features of this radio, starting with that beautiful color screen. It's an impressive looking color screen. It's quite vivid. The GD88 has a nice color screen, and here with the DB40-D, we have a very similar, very vibrant color screen. It really pops with the characters and information that it is displaying. We have dual VFOs, dual receive. They can receive at the same time. The short clip I was playing for you at the beginning of the video was DMR over my hotspot. On the bottom VFO, I had a local net where I was hitting a local analog repeater. Of course, the volume was down on that VFO. It has Bluetooth capability. As a matter of fact, here you can see a Bluetooth headset, and there's a Bluetooth PTT button. We'll charge those up and give those a go. And then I think one of the most unique features of this radio is its cross-band, cross-mode capability. By cross-band, I mean from UHF to VHF and vice versa. And by cross-mode, I don't mean from DMR over to D-Star. I mean cross mode from analog to digital and digital to analog. Assuming the menu features and options are similar on the DB40-D as the GD88, which is what I'm finding so far, I should be able to illustrate this cross-band, cross-mode repeat function for you. I've done it on my GD88. As a matter of fact, I have a video out there demonstrating it where I take my UV5R, obviously going analog, into one VFO of the GD88 and out the other VFO into talk group 91 through my local hotspot here in the shack. So we should be able to set that up and illustrate. It's really kind of fun to do. And I carried on a QSO with that GD88, and we'll do the same thing here with the DB40. The DB40-D is icon driven. So as you look through the menu screen, and we'll get to that here in a few minutes, you're going to see icons which then have sub menus. I have found every radio I have ever used to take some getting used to. I don't find this different from any other radio. Since we all use smartphones today, it seems like icon-driven menus is something we should be able to adapt to pretty quickly, and these seem intuitive. In a minute, we'll talk CPS as well as the physical characteristics of the radio, but first let's do that power test. Press and hold the VFO knob, and it transitions back and forth between frequency mode and memory mode. We're going to go to the extremes of 2 meters first. Let's start with 144, and before we key up, let's go over and press that multifunction knob and just confirm what we have. When you press and hold it, you get to the menu settings of the channel that you are on. And we're going to make sure that we're in analog, high, and we have to tell it OK, and then we'll press the back button and those settings will be saved. Let's key up, and we have 42 watts coming out of the radio. Let's go ahead and bounce up to the other extreme of the 2 meter frequency at 148. Let's go ahead and key up, and we're at 43 watts. 43. Next up, let's look at the national calling frequency. That gives us a good view of the entire band, and here we are at 146.52, key up, and we are at 42 watts. So exactly what we expected from the radio. Let's jump over to 70 centimeters. Again, we're going to do the extremes. Let's start at 420, key up, and we are at 41, 40 watts, 39 to 40 watts. Let's go to 450, the opposite extreme, key up, and we are at 32 watts, 31 watts. And now the national calling frequency on 70 centimeters, 446, and we are at 33 watts. So pretty close to what we are expecting for power output. Let's go ahead and change our power output now down to low power. So high power should be 40 watts and low power should be 20 watts. We have to save the setting. Scroll down to the bottom here. And there it is, save EFO, tell it OK, tell it back, and then we're ready to key in our frequency and start the testing all over again. Let's go back down to 2 meters at 144, key up, and we should be somewhere near 20 watts. 21 watts. Opposite extreme, 148, and let's see what our power output is. And we are at 21 watts, so we're consistent. And now the calling frequency, 1465200, and we are at 21 watts. 21 watts across the board. Let's go over to 70 centimeters and see what we have at 420. And the answer is 23 watts, 22 watts. Up to 450, the opposite extreme. And we are at 25 watts. And now the calling frequency on 70 centimeters, 446. And we are at a power output of 25 watts. So pretty much exactly what we expected to see from the radio. The DB40-D does not come with an HOA Ham mug, but if you go to the link below in my description, you can go to my merch website, get yourself a mug, a t-shirt, a sweatshirt. It's getting cold this time of year. It also does not come with this GD88, but I'm including this just on the screenshot here because that GD88 menu system and color screen is nearly identical, if not identical, to what you find in the DB40-D. So if you understand how to use the GD88, you're golden. You'll have an easy transition over to the DB40-D. The power cord for the DB40-D has this type of DC, what we would call a cigarette lighter style power cord to plug in our vehicle or in the shack. This cord does not come with the package. This is something I picked up on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. It comes with power pole connectors, the ability to plug that DC power adapter into this, and then 3 other connectors that we can use with our QRP rigs. I'll also leave a link to the Radioddity website to purchase this radio if you're interested, and my link will get you a $15 discount. The PTT, the microphone, comes with 4 programmable buttons, P5 through P8, and you can program any function into those that you want to get access to quickly. It comes with an instruction manual, and oh, by the way, if you go to the Radioddity website, there is a much more exhaustive instruction manual there for you to use. This is sufficient, but what you find on the website is extremely thorough and gives you all the features of the radio. The radio comes with a programming cable. It comes with 2 antennas, one for Bluetooth and one for GPS. It comes with a Bluetooth headset and a Bluetooth PTT. So now we can operate this radio with a Bluetooth headset and PTT as opposed to using the hand mic. And then these are just some different fittings for the end of this to stick into your ear, as well as a charging cable for these 2 devices. The unit itself is small. I consider this small. I do not have huge hands. It's a fairly compact unit, and we'll talk more about the buttons that are on the screen when we get to that here in just a few minutes after we talk about CPS. The way you navigate from zone to zone on the DB40-D is by pressing your multifunction knob, scrolling over to zone and channel, and you can see I'm on the HOA Ham zone. I programmed that into the radio. These other zones are zones that have been pre-programmed in by Radioddity, and I find them extraordinarily helpful to guide you when you're setting up new information for your particular region on the radio. You can use what's already in there as a kind of a springboard into what you should be setting up on your radio. Now, I just set up these zones. I just set up NI4CE, which is a linked repeater system here in the Palm Harbor area. I've not tried to make any contacts on analog. Let's see if anybody is out there listening. If they are, we'll have a brief QSO with them. And if not, we'll just jump on over to DMR because I have the DMR hotspot turned on and ready to go. We'll go over to talk group 91. Surely we can find somebody there. Let's give NI4CE a try. This is Kilo Delta 4 Bravo Mike Golf testing some new radio equipment, and I'm looking for a radio check. KD4BMG, over.
This is Whiskey 1 Echo Kilo Uniform, and the radio check here is you are a perfect 5'9" Wyattic. Beautiful signal coming in, and I am located in the Mayaca River State Park at the moment on mobile.
Okay, let's head on over to digital. We're going to go to Parrot first. Make sure everything sounds good, and then we'll jump on Talk Group 91. Once I get on 91, I may have to edit out some of the video because I'm not going to sit there listening to a long conversation, which is fine. That happens on 91, and I'm not going to put you through that. If I have to edit some of that out to where I can finally break in and have somebody give me some feedback on how the radio sounds, that's what we'll do. KD4BMG testing on Parrot. KD4BMG testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
KD4BMG testing on Parrot. KD4BMG testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And let me just show you real quick. We are on our hotspot dashboard, and there we can see that we just keyed up. Let's get away from dashboard and let's get over to 91 and see what's happening on 91. Let's key in.
Very good.
And of course, somebody's talking. So give me a couple minutes. We'll see when we can break into the conversation here, and I'll roll that clip in next.
Yeah, the repeater is...
Yeah, Whiskey Sierra 4 Bravo Sierra Alpha. Your signal is coming in a little light, so I don't know if that's mic gain or how close you have the microphone to your mouth, but you are coming through a little light. Over.
That should sound better. I just probably didn't have the mic close enough to the mouth. I'm using a Anytone 878 HT. Hitting the brand new repeater that we just got going up here in Boca Raton. So, glad it's working. Thank you for the repair check. You have a great day. 73 to you on your final.
Let's talk about one of the more unique features of this radio. It's the crossband, cross-mode repeat. By crossband, I mean UHF to VHF and vice versa. By cross-mode, I mean analog to digital and digital to analog. Yes, we're going to talk on an analog radio to DMR using this as our cross-mode repeater. If I haven't already mentioned it, the microphone has an injection molded opening on the back side of it, and this is how you would connect it in the shack or in your vehicle with a hook. It's also magnetic on the back, so any piece of metal, you can attach the microphone and it will stay in place. Here are the settings we need to change to get into that cross mode. Choose local set, scroll to AB repeat. Now, both these first two options, AB repeat SW, AB listen SW, both need to be changed. So select the first one and you can see it is now green. Select the second one, it is now green. For the final two options, options 3 and 4, we're going to do the same thing. Go first into AB repeat mode. Right now you can see that off is selected. Go down to Tran RXTX, select it. Now go down to the B repeat mode. Same thing, go to the bottom, select it. And now everything should be working how we want. Sorry, just received the transmission, so it kicked me out of the menu. And we're back after that transmission. So now everything is set up here how we want it to be. Let's just go make sure that this change took place. Yes, you can see that the Tran RXTX is indeed selected. All right, these settings are now accurate. Let's back on out of this. And now what we need to do is we're going to set our top VFO. And the way that you select the different VFOs is you just click the VFO button. Right now you can see PTT is lit on the top. That's because I've selected it here. If I press the bottom VFO, you can see the PTT goes to the bottom. And we're in a simplex frequency here, and that's what I'm going to communicate on with the UV5R. Actually, it's the GT5R, so the clean version of the Baofeng. And then on the top, we are going to navigate over to talk group 91. Let's get our hotspot queued up, powered on, make sure that we are ready to go, and then we're going to transmit on the bottom VFO, and you're going to see talk group 91 come alive, and we're going to transmit and key in with this guy. Let me explain what is going to happen, because once I get onto talk group 91, I'm going to have to respond to what people are doing and then cobble that video together. I'll have two microphones going, one here on my shirt, another one on top of the DB40. While it's acting as a repeater, you get sound out of this until you turn down that top VFO. And then I'll also be sending a signal to my analog radio, so I can turn the volume down here and it will weaken the signal to the radio. And then I can, of course, increase the signal or the sound at the radio level. I'll see if I can switch back and forth between the GT5R and the FT3D, so you can see both radios actually talking from the DB40 as the repeater. And then maybe I'll see if I have the opportunity to go direct from the DB40 in one of the QSOs and just see how that compares to the HTs. I did this successfully with my GD88. I did have to tweak some settings on the other HTs coming into it. I don't know what those settings would be here with the DB40, so we'll just see what kind of feedback I get, and that would tell me, or you, what you might need to work on if this is a setup that you would like to try in the future. All right, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to just pick up my GT5R and I'm going to key up, and you're going to watch the screens come alive as this crossband repeats from my analog signal into the DMR signal. Do you believe it? You think it's really going to happen? Let's just see it happen. Here we go. And also, well, let's see. We have sound. Yeah, we've got volume there, so we should hear people talking if anyone's currently talking. Here we go. Look at that. So we are keyed in to DMR. Let me just show you that it actually did. Yeah.
I am your listening for DB40-D.
Okay.
I am from Indonesia.
So that happened by me keying up on my Baofeng.
I am sorry.
Now, just to show the volume here, let me take the volume down on this. No volume, bring the volume up here.
Not listening my connection.
Right, that's coming out of my Baofeng.
From Indonesia.
To my hotspot now.
Here we go.
I don't know the call sign station that responded, but this is Kilo Mike 4 Oscar Papa handheld in eastern central Florida.
Kilo Mike 4 Oscar Papa KD4 BMG. Yeah, you're coming through completely readable at this point. I think it was just your distance from your hotspot, so everything is working fine now. I'd like to know.
But anyway, hope all is well, and a little bit what I'm running here. Running a handheld Motorola XPR 7550, going into a hotspot, a Shark 3 that's in my inside the house. Copy.
Yeah, copy that. I hear you. Well, you're not going to believe what I'm running, so let me just go ahead and say it out loud. I'm on a UV5R, actually the GT5R, running analog into a Radioddity DB40-D, which is a DMR mobile radio. It is acting as my cross-band, cross-mode repeater, so I'm just testing it out today to make sure that everything is working okay. Again, because I have a kind of a strange setup here, and it's going into a Skybridge hotspot. So that's my operating condition. Hope I'm coming through okay. Over.
All right, yeah, okay, it's working. It's definitely working. My ears ain't known to be the best in the world after military service and stuff. But anyway, have a good afternoon, be well, and continue doing what you're doing, and have a good time doing it. That's what's important.
This is Kilo Mike 4, Oscar Papa in the Space Coast of Florida. Matter of fact, we had a beautiful launch last night. The launch went right over the house here.
All right, thanks for that, Kilo Mike 4, Oscar Papa, KD4BMG. Yeah, I switched radios one final time. I'm actually on the the DB40-D, which is the mobile unit. Turned off the HTs. I'm going direct through this 40-watt unit. So hopefully I'm coming through a little bit better. Probably need to work on my gain on the HTs into this repeater. Thanks for the QSO, friend. Talk to you later. 73.
Wow, that was like 110% better. I had to lower my volume. I had it all the way up, and you were clear. I mean, you were super clear. So I guess it wasn't my ears. Go ahead.
Okay, so you've seen me do this with the GD88, and I apparently worked out all the bugs on that. It sounds like there might be some more bugs to work out, possibly on my mic gain on the HTs, or perhaps the mic gain. I don't know why it would be the mic gain on the DB40. I've already adjusted the mic gain on the DB40. You have to do that through the software. So I know that my mic gain is good through the DB40. So it's something with the HTs. Still some tweaking to do, but you can see that it's working. Let's get these two miniature antennas connected to the back of the radio. We'll first connect the GPS antenna. I'm not going to show you this whole thing because my whole hand gets in the way. You won't be able to see it. It's very straightforward what you're doing. And now let's go ahead and attach that Bluetooth antenna. And we're going to set up our Bluetooth headset. The first thing we want to do is power it on, and we'll see it immediately go into a pair mode. It's just blinking blue, waiting for us to connect our radio. So go ahead and select the menu option and go to Appendix. Once we're in Appendix, we're going to then scroll to the option for Bluetooth, and then we'll choose our next option to do the pairing. Choose BT earset, and it will automatically bring up ME100. Select ME100, and the pairing should be complete. You can hold up the Bluetooth headset, and you'll see it's now paired to the unit. You'll just get a single flashing blue light occasionally. Now let's go ahead and pair the PTT button. Go and press the PTT button and hold it until it goes into a pairing mode. You're going to have to release the button, then it goes into pair. Select it on the radio, and it completes automatically. So how on earth are we going to confirm that a Bluetooth headset is working when I'm the only one who can hear it? Well, first of all, I'm going to confirm for myself that it's working. Let's take our VFOA over to Parrot. I'm going to press the PTT, and you should see VFOA light up. KD4BMG testing, 1, 2, 3. Let go of the PTT. And I am indeed hearing it. I'm going to do the same thing, only now I'm going to take the headset out of my ear and put it up to the microphone. And let's pull the microphone up so you can see the microphone. Pressing the PTT, KD4BMG, testing on Parrot with the headset.
BMG testing on Parrot with the headset.
Okay, I have no idea what that sound quality will be like from this into that microphone. It works. So you can use the headset and this Bluetooth PTT to talk on your radio. So I am not going to provide any lessons on how to use the CPS for your code plug. That's a rather sophisticated and complicated process, but I will show you how to just go grab the software from Radioddity. It's like all of their software that's available on Radioddity. You go to their website, you navigate to the device that you own, and when you open up the web page for that device, there's usually a link to go to their particular downloaded features, whether it's a manual, a firmware upgrade, or a CPS. And in this case, we're going to grab the CPS for the DB40-D. And you download that to a specific location on your hard drive. You initiate the opening of that zip file, and you execute that installation. Most of us get a warning on our Windows message, and you should only override that warning if you're comfortable doing that. I did that on my machine, and I installed the software. I used the code plug that was already in the software as an example how to build the HOA Ham code plug, which was just a basic code plug I put in to demonstrate how the radio works. The cable that is provided with the DB40-D, sometimes you need to install drivers so that will work with your Windows machine. I've installed so many CPS programs on my computer that perhaps I installed that driver previously. I didn't have any requirement to install it this time around. The only other thing I'll say about the CPS is perhaps Radioddity will go to that third party, just like they've done on the GD88, and use an alternate CPS that's a little bit more user-friendly. This one will get the job done. And my final thought on the CPS. I did not download the DMR contact database because I just didn't want to spend a long period of time uploading that to the radio. If I would have done that as I was illustrating how to use the radio, you would have seen people's contact information as opposed to their DMR ID. But here you can see you can actually do it. I started the process just to demonstrate to you that you can upload the contacts into the radio, so you will always have that additional information. We have lots of choices when it comes to DMR handhelds. We have very few choices when it comes to DMR 40 to 50 watt mobile units we can use in our vehicles or as base stations in the shack. If you're going to enter into this market, you should expect yourself to be compared to the Anytone 578. I don't own an Anytone 578, so I can't do a hands-on comparison. I have to go to the website of Anytone and look what the features are and compare it here to the DB40-D. They seem very similarly equipped. I believe the Anytone unit in its most expensive iteration does come with airband, so if that's a requirement for you, the DB40-D does not have that today. Perhaps that's a feature that can be added at some point in the future. The only other thing we don't know about the DB40-D is longevity. The 578 has been out forever, so we know it's durable. All I can tell you about this radio is that I put it through its paces in a very short period of time. I contacted local repeaters, I did some communication via simplex, and I used it as a crossband cross-mode repeater. And when you do that, you're really putting this radio to the test. It warms up, the fan kicks in because you're really stressing it by running both of those VFOs 100% duty cycle at the same time, and it stood up to that. So that's good. We don't see many reviews out on this radio because it's new, and I don't think we as a ham community will really know the durability here until more people get it in their hands, and I hope that happens real soon because I would like to learn of your experience and see if it's similar to mine. What I love about this is the color screen. It's gorgeous. I like the crossband, cross-mode repeat. I think that's a very unique capability. What I don't like about this, I really don't care for the CPS. The software to program this radio is a little bit clunky. What I mean by that, it's column driven. As you're adding information, some of the columns are off the screen, and so you have to tab across the screen to get to the information. Is that a deal stopper? Absolutely not, because you don't do your CPS every day. It's a once and done, and then you go back and you add things, change things, update things every once in a while. So I wouldn't let that influence your decision. For the GD88, Radioddity used a third party and they created a secondary CPS, and perhaps they'll do the same here for this particular radio, especially since it has a very similar feature set to the GD88. It has a volume adjustment issue that's somewhat of a challenge, just like the GD88. For those of you who have the GD88, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you get down to the lowest, quietest setting, it's not quite quiet enough. You want it to be a little bit more quiet. You want to be able to adjust the volume down a little bit lower. I understand that's been fixed in the most recent firmware. I haven't updated the firmware yet on my GD88, so I can't confirm that, but one of my subscribers told me indeed that is fixed, and I would think that they're going to apply the same software or firmware patch to the DB40-D. The mic gain is in the CPS software. I wish that were a menu feature on the radio itself, and I'm going to recommend to Radioddity that they put it in on a future firmware upgrade. So that's my perspective on the DB40-D. It's a full-featured 40-watt DMR radio that I think is worthy of your consideration. I can't wait till more of you get your hands on it. I'd like to know if your experiences are just like mine. I hope you found this useful, friend. Talk to you soon. 73.